Welcome to Rachel's Mythical Stories. The topic is Two Princes Who Changed the World. Many hundred years after the Aryan invasion, India began to develop at a rapid pace. Cities grew larger as the pollution increased. The various small religions and beliefs blended together to form Hinduism, and a great era of art, music, and literature was born. The only unfortunate thing about the era was the caste system. The Brahmin priests made the caste system very strict. They used the caste system to remain superior and forced people to pay high taxes. The poor people suffered at most. They could not pay the taxes and often became slave laborers. Many of them died of starvation or illness. Then, during the 7th, 6th, and 5th centuries BC, there was a great period of intellectual, philosophical, religious, and social change in India. This change was brought about when the people from the Kshatriya or warrior caste rose up and challenged the superiority of the Brahmin priests. It was during this time that two princes were born into the Kshatriya caste. Two princes who would forever change the face of Indian religion and philosophy. Two princes called Vardhamana and Siddhartha. Vardhamana, the first of the princes, was born in 599 BC. He was the son of Siddhartha, a Kshatriya chief from Vaishali. Until the age of 30, Vardhamana led a life of comfort. He married and had a daughter. But Vardhamana was greatly affected by the suffering of the poor and the troubles that people faced in life. One day, he suddenly decided to give up everything and set out on a journey to search for higher knowledge. He left his family, his comforts, and riches and wandered around from place to place in search of answers to the world's problems. After 12 years of enduring various hardships, severe fasting, and strict discipline, Vardhamana attained enlightenment. He was called Mahavira, the great soul of Jaina, the conqueror. Many people began to listen to Mahavira's teachings and followed him wherever he went. They were called Jains. Mahavira taught his disciples that man's main aim in life was to make his soul pure. He taught his disciples how to purify their souls by leading a balanced life, following strict discipline and fasting. Mahavira believed that his was the only way to conquer mankind's desire and greed. Mahavira also believed that everything in the universe had a soul. Trees, stones, water, and insects were given the same respect as humans, birds, and animals. For this reason, Jain monks began to wear muslin cloth around their mouth and never stepped out at night. They were afraid they might accidentally kill some small insects. This came to be known as the teaching of ahimsa or non-violence, a teaching that told people that no living things should be hurt. Mahavira and the Jains believed that all people were equal in the eyes of God. They spoke out against the caste system. and helped the poor and the downtrodden. Although the Brahmins priests did not welcome the Jains, many traders and merchants were moved by Mahavira's teachings and converted to Jainism. Mahavira died in the year 527 BC in the small town of Pava in Bihar. His disciples, the Jains, spread his teachings far and wide. The Jains' philosophy of ahimsa and their rejection of the caste system would help shape the very future of India. The second of the princes was born in 560 BC, about 39 years after the birth of Mahavira. Like Mahavira, he too was born into the family of a Kshatriya chief. The chief called him Siddhartha Gautama. When little Siddhartha was just 5 days old, his mother died. Siddhartha's father was filled with grief. He vowed to give his son all the happiness in the world so that he would never miss his mother. Siddhartha's father sheltered his son from all the problems of the world. So, Siddhartha grew up without knowing the meaning of suffering or pain. As he grew into a fine young prince, Siddhartha was married to a beautiful princess named Yashodhara. Together, they had a son, and all of them lived happily within the walls of the palace. They did not know anything about the suffering that was going on in the world outside. One day, Siddhartha left the palace without his father's permission. To his surprise, he saw a man who was so bent up and old that he could not walk. Then he saw a sick man and a dead body. When Siddhartha's charioteer explained to him that everyone would grow old, fall sick, and die someday, Siddhartha was shocked. He could not understand why others were suffering while he and his family were happy within the walls of the palace. After deep contemplation, Siddhartha decided to leave his family, his palace, and all his riches. He went into the forest in search of a solution to all the pain and suffering he had witnessed. Siddhartha wandered around from place to place. He spent time with hermits, following their way of life in the hope of finding a solution to life's problems. He even fasted for 40 days and almost died of hunger. Then, after many years, when he was 29 years old, Siddhartha attained enlightenment while he was meditating under a peepal tree in a place called Bodh Gaya. From that day onwards, he was called Buddha, one who was knowledge. Buddha released the something that Mahavira died. He realized that the world was suffering because of mankind's greed and selfishness. So Buddha asked his disciples to free themselves from greed, selfishness, and desire in order to be free from suffering and unhappiness. Buddha taught his followers the eightfold path to achieve spiritual bliss. The eightfold path consisted of right views, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right recollection, and right meditation. Just like Mahavira, Buddha and his disciples treated all men as equal. They did not believe in the caste system. Buddha preached that it was good deeds and not birth that made a person holy. Unlike the Brahmin priests who prayed in Sanskrit, a language that most common people could not understand, Buddha preached in a simple language that was understood by everybody. Everyone loved Buddha as their teacher, and Buddha loved everyone as his own children. After Buddha died in 482 BC, his disciples, who were Buddhist monks, began to spread his teachings far and wide. Buddhism became very popular and spread as far as Sri Lanka, China, Japan, Burma, Bhutan, and Tibet. The two princes, Mahavira and Buddha, gave up everything to help make the world a better place. Their teachings helped change the lives of the poor untouchables who were being ill treated for no fault of theirs. Thanks for watching. Thank you.